Dr. Craig, what would you say to a Thomist, a follower of Thomas Aquinas, who says, I have good arguments for God, such as Aquinas' 5 ways, that are based on indubitable metaphysical principles? It would be imprudent to advance a theistic argument that rests, even partly, on modern science, since science can change, and if some theistic argument loses face as science changes, so does theism. Dr. Craig, what about this charge of imprudence from the Thomist?
Yes, I would say that Thomas Aquinas' own metaphysical principles are highly dubious and in doubt, and that therefore I have little confidence that his arguments are, as he claimed, demonstrations. Aquinas was familiar with the Kalam cosmological argument. This is a very ancient argument, and he was aware of the Muslim medieval thinkers who championed it. And Aquinas said, if the universe did begin to exist, then clearly there had to be a cause of the beginning and of motion. But he thought you couldn't prove with demonstrative certainty that the universe did begin to exist. Of course, they had none of the modern empirical evidence. But I'm persuaded, and I think Aquinas would agree, that the philosophical arguments for the beginning were good probability arguments, even if they weren't mathematical demonstrations. So I think Aquinas simply raised the bar too high for what constitutes a good argument for God's existence. We don't need to have certainty or mathematical demonstrability. All we need to do is to offer arguments that are logically valid, have true premises, and the premises are more plausibly true than not. And if that's right, then that's a good argument for the conclusion. And I think we've got such arguments today, and we shouldn't be preoccupied with Aquinas' concern for metaphysical or mathematical demonstration.
One of the architects of the Big Bang model was Georges Lemaitre, who was a Belgian physicist, mathematical physicist, MIT and Harvard graduate, and also a Jesuit priest. And later in life, in the 1950s, he was serving on a papal commission because the Pope at the time wanted to put forward a statement that said, look, the Big Bang, excellent evidence for the existence of God. And Lemaitre stopped him from doing that. He said, no, you can't get the peanut butter of theology mixed up with the chocolate of science. It does not actually taste great together because, who knows, some days some smart ass will come up with a theory of the universe that is eternal and there isn't a Big Bang anymore. Dr. Craig and I are on the same side. We think that Lemaitre was wrong to make that kind of statement. We both believe that if you're going to be an intellectually honest theist, you need to accord with the best data from the universe. And as we both agree, science is not in the job of proving things with metaphysical certitude. It says that models get better and better at fitting the data. I think that works just as well for theism as it does for naturalism.